Here's the brutal truth nobody wants to say out loud. By the time the market crash is screaming on every headline, hedge funds have already moved miles ahead because they saw it coming when you were still losing sleep over charts and rumors. You feel the frustration, right? Watching your portfolio tank, wondering how on earth these guys knew to act first while you're stuck figuring out what just happened. It's maddening. It feels unfair, but it's not magic. It's cold, sharp, relentless preparation, and it's what separates the pros from the rest of the herd. Here's what they actually know before the crash hits the public eye. Information isn't just data. It's context, speed, and connections. Hedge funds don't just read reports. They've got networks feeding on every whisper. Regulatory signals, credit spreads, insider selling, even anecdotal dramas from company circles that never see the light of mainstream news. If you're still waiting on the morning Bloomberg headline to move, you're already late. You have to develop a radar that works in the noise before the noise becomes a roar. First, obsess over liquidity flows. Forget traditional analysis that anchors on fundamentals alone. The market's heartbeat is in money shifting under the radar. Big block trades, margin calls, synthetic positions, flipping positions in seconds. When you see wild moves in derivatives, abnormal spikes in credit default swaps, or unexpected concentration in options, these are your warning lights. Then move. Hedge funds don't wait to confirm a crash with price drops. They start exiting based on these subtle signs, sometimes days or even weeks before the fear reaches news cycles. Second, understand that hedge funds watch not only the market, but the market makers, brokers, and the entire plumbing behind your trades. This isn't hype, it's a cold fact. They know who's levered too high, where the debt traps lie, and who's got a counterparty crisis brewing. If you want their edge, you need to build or tap into these invisible webs. Go beyond the obvious. Talk to traders, clearing houses if you can, and get that inside peek at how money is shifting and where the weak points in the system are. That's how panic spreads before panic shows up. Third, hedge funds are ruthless about scenario analysis. They run hundreds of stress tests every day, not like a textbook, but brutal what-if cases, combining political risks, macro moves, liquidity freezes, and even behavioral shifts in other market players. You can't just guess where the floor is. You have to map every crack and then double down on your prep for the worst. Too many founders and investors pretend this is academic, but it's life or death. You're either ready or you're the next casualty. Here's the game changer. Nobody is going to hand you these secrets. This knowledge lives in the networks of operators, traders, and founders who share info in real time, long before the crash makes it to headlines. If you want to stop reacting and start leading, you need to build or join these circles. Real human connections exchanging raw info, sharp takes, and quick moves. Push yourself to talk less theory and more real-time realities. Cut out sources that only repeat yesterday's news. Align with builders who move money and innovate not just for profit, but for survival. Finally, don't get paralyzed by fear or greed. Hedge funds don't freeze when things look bad. They pivot hard. They exit, hedge, short, or buy tactical power plays. You have to train your mindset the same way. When the market loosens up, grab your chance, but don't hesitate to protect before the crowd panics. Protection isn't about losing out. It's about having the freedom to play again tomorrow without bleeding out today. So here's your brutal checklist. Obsessively track liquidity shifts. Connect with insiders beyond public data. Run scenario disasters daily and treat them like breathing exercises. Build a network that feeds you early whispers, not late echo chambers. And master pivot moves so you control when you lose and when you win. Stop being surprised by the next crash. Start predicting and moving first. Because the moment you decide to act like the hedge funds, relentless, connected, coldly smart, you stop being a victim of the market's chaos and start owning your place in it. This is your edge. Take it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit the featured link to discover more.